Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to a little bit more of Banished as we continue along with whatever the nonsense it is we've been doing. And yeah, we're just chugging along with our tiny little society here of ne'er-do-wells living in this harsh mountain landscape with really terrible weather. So yeah, one of the things about terrible weather is that it makes it so you don't really want to be going ahead and making yourself any sort of farms, because like the harsh weather will just kill all your plants off and it's kind of bullshit. But yeah, we're doing okay. Our city's got a decent enough population that I think that we can get that sort of achievement that exists. I don't know, I'm not really much of an achievement hunter, so it's not really as big a deal here. But yeah, next up what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and build a bridge over to this other side here. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us access to a little bit more wood and stone resources, but primarily it's going to give us access to this really nice little peninsula lip thingy here. I don't know, fjord? I don't know if you can call it that, a river bend. I don't think you can call it a fjord if it's in a river. But it gives us access to that little bend there, and we're going to be able to build another fishery that's going to be quite productive over there. Now if we look at our town and what it's got here, we've mostly just got houses, and we kind of need to build a new one pretty soon. But everything is going along pretty much okay. It's not like we're overly short on any resources, but the biggest problem is that we're going to not have any people working on labor essentially for like the next ever. And that's going to potentially be an actual problem. We're also, as you can see, short on logs, but we can deal with that. Okay, the bigger thing is that we don't have any laborers. We can reduce the number of food collectors for just a little bit here. I think we can afford to go down to 6 gatherers, and let's say we can go down to 5 gatherers and see what happens. So yeah, we're gonna use those gatherers to remove some trees and stones from over here while we're building that bridge. So this, again, this style play very much more tenuous, but you can still speed it up to ×5 if you want to. Let's see here. How much leather have we got for clothes here? I think that's the last of it, looks like. So once this guy's done, this load of hide coats will be done that. I wish it showed me how much clothes he actually had in the story. It just says how much leather he has. Oh well. It's also claiming we only have 11 hide coats still, so maybe he hasn't produced anything at all. Okay, so that's enough of that for now. Now let's see here. And I'm just sending people off to go cut down that wood, but that's gonna take a little while. I wonder what our builder is doing. One of the big problems is all the trees in this area seem to have been cut down all at once somehow, which means that we're not really collecting very much wood from the Forester Lodge over here. Fortunately, there's still old growth over on the right here near this Forester Lodge, so we seem to be doing okay. Let's go ahead and remove some iron as well. Just have to take it steady when you're playing in this difficulty and trying to do this sort of playthrough, because there's so many things that can potentially go wrong, and everything's a lot more delicately balanced, especially in regards to how you're using your space. So you have to make sure that you're using your space very, very effectively, and almost sort of like cautiously. You don't want to be using your space like really sort of recklessly. Sort of a firewood is low. Like the problem here is that I can't really get more firewood because I don't have any logs. So getting more firewood is going to be difficult because I don't have any wood to be had. Oh well. Looks like we got an early spring though, so that'll help with that just a little bit. Although I think that the temperature at 35 degrees Fahrenheit, I don't know why I have it set to Fahrenheit, is still too cold for these lazy bastards. Okay, and that's going to give us room to build that fishing dock. It looks like we do need to increase our gatherer count because our food did drop a little bit. Now the problem that we're having here is that since we have this school now, because that's going to make our guys much more efficient, that'll pay off later. For now what's going to happen is we've got like 21 adults, and we're going to be stuck at 21 adults until all our students grow up. And the students there, you know, let's just see if we can find one of them. Like, this guy's 11, he'll be there for years. We've got a 13-year-old student that's going to be there for years, and so on and so forth. Where's our other students? Yeah, and a 10-year-old student, so it's going to be quite a while before those guys are productive and helpful members of society. Let's go ahead and build another wooden house. And that should be okay. And this year, yeah, we're just going to build that house, and we're just going to build a fishing dock. And we kind of need to build some sort of housing at some point. You want to still do that steady increase if you can. That's going to be a decent enough place, I think. The problem is going to be that that place doesn't have much access to any storage docks, so that's going to slow down the fishery production there, but we'll eventually get around to building another storage barn somewhere, and I'm thinking sort of like here would be a good idea. I'm not even sure if I can. There's a little tiny hill there, if you see. Yeah, that ridge is sort of an asshole here. That, like, can't build there. Well, if we built it here, that would make it closer, and really nice and close for this fishing dock, so we'll probably build it here. We'll see. Alright, looks like more resources are flooding into the stockpile that we built out over here to make it faster for the Forester Lodge over here. That's going to make things okay for us. And let's see here. Yeah, we're getting our stockpile of firewood back up. It'll be back before winter, so just need a couple hundred of firewood before we hit winter. Do we actually have construction right now? Yeah, we got one guy in construction. Okay. It's just that everybody's busy off gathering wood or stone instead, but that's fine since we kind of desperately need it all. Alright, so yeah, we haven't got too many people that need new houses. People have lots of kids, but like there are not too many people of marriageable age. I don't know, there's a couple. Could probably get away with building 2 houses, but we'll build one for now since we don't have the labor pool for it. Alright, so yeah, this sort of easy does it slow and steady kind of thing is going to be the only way to play on this harder map. I've heard some people start off by trying to grow quite fast, and they start with a boarding house and just build houses and do it that way, but I don't think that's very stable, and I don't think that helps out very much if you're trying to do things in the longer term. Wood houses works plenty fine if you can build them in time, and especially because like there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to get this many wood houses up pretty much in the same amount of time that you would be able to build like anything else before winter comes. So it's not like the choice of difficulty or the choice of map really is going to affect that decision. The only difference is you have to make wood houses instead of stone houses. Alright, so our food surplus is rebounding back up pretty hard, so we're going to go ahead and take one guy off of that and put one more guy on building. Because it's taking our guys way too damn long to build these stupid things. Okay, and I just want one person working on this house. No, let's just get everything done quickly. Alright, and over here it looks like people are starting to deliver resources over there too. Alright. So let's check to see how much we've got. We've got enough leather to make one more set of hide coats. I'm still not sure where all these damn hide coats are. We've got like 15 hide coats apparently, but none of them are in the storage barn. You know, heaven forbid that they put the stuff that they're supposed to be storing in the storage barn. Alright, so that's good. We got ourselves a nice, another little cozy house here for another builder and another laborer. They're going to go eventually get this fishing dock done. And again, the reason that we're building these, even though we clearly don't need that, is that you always want to have... Oh wait, I know where it's going. It's going in my... Right, I still have the storage cart because I'm an idiot. Okay, well, anyway... yeah, the reason that we're sort of building this fishing thing is, again, as you grow your population, you want to have more food-producing capabilities than you could feasibly require for that population. So as you grow, you can start putting more and more people into food-producing industries, and that way your people are going to, like, not starve to death when you have a big population boost. So you want to keep that in mind, and you want to sort of keep that mentality of always have more food-producing buildings than you can have people working in them. Okay, so we're getting even more of those people working in education, or sorry, more people being students. I guess it's not really working being a student. You just sort of be a student and have your miserable life of trying to learn stuff. But yeah, that's kind of the life of being a student. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a little bit more of a house going. One more is going to be fine. And technically we don't really even need to have our population grow all that much at this point in time. Like at this point we're pretty much fine just sitting here coasting to the achievement, but that's not really what we're about here. What we're going to try and do is try and make this as reasonable a city as we possibly can. Now this is going to be a bit more disaster prone than your typical city that you're going to see me building, but like that's sort of one of the necessities of being on a map like this. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Okay, we're down to 32 iron, 48 tools. That's fine. It's plenty of resources. And the fishing dock is finished. Fantastic. So what we could potentially do is build a little tiny bridge here, and this area will become a viable forest area that we can use for hunting and gathering. And build some storage barns up here. That might be a good idea, but I get the feeling like that's not really necessary right now. In fact, what we're going to do is set this to times 10 speed for now, because right now we're just getting so much food that we don't really need to worry too much about growing our population out just a little bit. After all, we have only got 8 children left in the city, and those guys aren't having any children. Reserve of logs is again low. Whatever. That will go up in time. We'll take 2 people off building and put them into forestry, though. That will help that problem out. We still have very limited labor, that means, but we're fine as far as that goes. That'll sort of sort itself out as people grow up, become productive, functional members of society. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a person in our tailor right now as well. Still fine on tools. I'm surprised our tool stockpile is lasting this long. It's just really going well. I'm really hoping that eventually our first wave of students will start hitting the labor pool. That will really help out. And yeah, it's basically like middle of autumn. This is like it sort of snowing really, really badly in October, which is pretty typical in Canada, I have to admit. Oh no, someone died during childbirth. That's really awful. Alright, well, what we're going to have to do is actually go ahead and build a cemetery. I was thinking that we could get away with building this later. It's too late for that person now, but we don't need a really big one, so we're just going to build it like that. Alright, and that's going to clear out some resources as well for us. People in your village dying of childbirth is like the worst, because then you just don't have as many people who can potentially form families. Like, if you kill off all the guys, that's fine, because they can still do... You know, you only really need one guy in a society. They'll be very, very tired, but they'll probably be pretty happy about the situation. Okay, so that's going to be less productive than I want it to be, because it's far away from, like, the storage barn, but that's okay. Alright. Food still trending upwards. Let's reduce gatherers by another 1 for now. Alright. And let's, oh, there's still more leather. Okay. Let's let their guy, get the last of the leather. Yeah, so 2 more sets. Perfect. Okay. Now then, 41 tools. We're still fine on all fronts, really. Our population is distributed nicely across the different age groups. All that we really need to do is last another, like, 20 years or whatever the achievement is, which is kind of a long time, I have to admit, but it's nothing too terrible. Now, one of the things that we're not doing right now that you'll notice is that we're not really doing any trade, and that's partly because we can't really do a whole lot to afford a trading outpost. They're quite expensive, so there is that to consider. I'm gonna go ahead and remove some resources over here, just because we might as well get those out of the way. Looks like we finally got some students trickling into our labor pool. Yeah, we've got students slowly trickling into our labor pool. That's really good. And as that sort of equalizes, we're going to end up having more and more adults without having to worry about our lame, non-educated people doing all the work. Okay, so let's get stuff done. get all this. Let's get this rocks as well out of there. Make our forestry a little bit more productive. Yeah, so actually our food setup must be really efficient because we're still growing in food, even though I keep taking people off of food production. So what we're going to do is go ahead and build a wooden house over here. A wooden house on the prairies, except that's not at all the prairies. And we're going to build a storage barn over here as well. Like that. Alright. And we've got like one person working on labor, but that's fine. Alright, so our old people are starting to get up there a little bit. They're in their 40s, 50s. They've got a few more years before they die, but like not a whole lot we can really do about that. Okay, that's enough for now. I think that's enough tool production for now. Let's see here. I don't want our society to turn too old, so we do have to keep our eye on building houses a little bit, but I think right now we're okay in terms of our demographics. Yeah, okay, we've got our cemetery up. That'll probably keep our happiness, let our happiness sort of rebound back up to something more acceptable, more or less. You know, I never built an herbalist. Why are my people so healthy? Alright, well, we can afford to put our herbalist out here, I suspect. That might be... Actually, let's, not really sure which area I want to put the herbalist in. I'm going to put him up here. There we go. And now we've just got a ton of stuff on build queue, but now that we've got this big explosion of laborers that are highly effective laborers, hopefully, we should be getting things done a little bit faster and a little bit quicker. We also don't really need the woodcutter going anymore since we got plenty of wood. Firewood, rather. Okay, so hopefully we can get this fishing dock over here really efficient if we get the storage barn and this house up. But the problem is that there aren't really going to be any people going all the way to that storage barn to get food unless they're desperate, so... There'll probably just be a storage barn that absolutely gets full of old fish that are going to be there for years and years and years. And it'll be like the grossest part of town. Okay. Well, are we still on times 10 speed? Yes, we are. And still people are not getting anything done. Lazy bastards. Okay, so we're going to have to actually use the tool priority thing. Let's go ahead and just tell these people that that is the most important of things. And if they don't get on that, we're going to go and vandalize their houses or something. I don't know. Okay, and this guy needs to apparently get back to work already. Alright. Got quite a few resources in our stockpiles. A little bit shorter on iron than we are on anything else. Might be a good idea for me to go ahead and say that I want to cut down some iron deposits. I have already got one queued up though. Oh, alright. Well, so that'll get done as it gets done. We don't need to rush it or anything. 25 coats. Let's see here. And we've got 18 leather. No. Imagining our labor pool's real sort of right pain, but it's going to ease off now as we sort of get more and more population. I like how someone just left this like log right in the middle of the road there, just blocking everyone's path with logs. Alright, and once this is done, we can build we can put 2 people in this fishing dock, and I think there's 2 in this one already too, yeah. Alright, and our food is still trending upwards. Has this got more efficient or something? 556 for 2 laborers, that's not bad actually. Alright, let's get another person working on building. I want this all done a little bit faster. Yeah, our food is dipping down just a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and put more labor there. I'm feeling good about the reasoning for that, though, because we've started to get a big cluster of people who are working and just maintaining our number of children at the same time. All very important things to consider. Storage barns, they take an awfully long time to build. especially because all our builders are lazy assholes that have decided that they're going to go home and spend time with their families instead of working out in the death camps for too long. One of them was devoted enough to stay out there. Alright. After that, we're going to have our herbalist getting built. Okay. Let's go up prioritize this. And that'll help out quite a bit. Only need 2 builders now, though. And we can increase the number of fishermen working here by 1. There we go. And what's going to happen? Those 2 fishermen living together with their iron tools and their big old barn full of fish that they're going to live off of. Probably not the healthiest, most balanced lifestyle, but what can you do? Okay, looks like food production, or food consumption rather, has taken a big spike, so I'm going to have to keep an eye out on that. Leather up to 34, let's go ahead and start working that. And tools, we still have plenty of tools, so we're not going to worry about producing more of those anytime soon. And yeah, things seem to be chugging along pretty well here. What might be a good idea, building a house out here. Yeah, let's just build them across like this. One more house over there ought to do. Hit that population of 30. I'm not sure if I can't remember if I need 30 total or if I need 30 adults, but either way, yeah, we're just going to continue going along very slowly and steadily as we've been going, and eventually we'll reach that point where we'll just get an achievement for having survived that long on this setting with this kind of map with that much of a population. So that's pretty much all that you need to know about this particular map setup and how to get that. Of course, if you want to keep going and thrive, you just have to keep doing what I've been doing, keep going along here. One of the only resources that you'll get on this one is firewood, though. It's a little bit harder for you to use the space effectively to make a whole ton of these hunting cabins to get a whole ton of coats. So it's a lot harder to trade coats to get crucial resources as you would want to normally do, especially things like sheep. So in a village like this, it's going to be much more common for people to trade firewood. It's going to be very difficult to do that in a certain sense, though, because you are also consuming a lot more firewood on maps like this. But that's okay. Just do sort of whatever it is that you have to do to thrive and survive and continue on as it is. But again, this is not really the kind of map where you want to try and build a big bustling city that takes up the entire screen like I've got here. If I had a big city like that, it would just be like most of the map, but that's not really what this is for. This is saying if you can survive in this sort of setting, in this sort of conditions, which are quite harsh, in all honesty. So if you can manage that, if you can manage to get this far, you've pretty much done everything that is going to be difficult about the setting already. And anything after that, it's just going to be like a bit of just trying to build a nicer city, and that's not really, I think, what this is about. I think this is more about building, see if you can survive to get up to this point and get to here. It's not actually that difficult, in case you didn't notice. I think that it's actually quite reasonable. So anyway, I hope you found this informative, and of course, as always, I hope to see you all next time.